It's that time once again to step aboard the hellbound locomotive, its firebox fueled with the last vestiges of rational thought, as we hurtle down the rails of I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor. Derailed sounds a bit like deranged, and trust me, we'll meet many people who fit that criteria today. And today's a very special number, so we'll meet some very special people. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to People Being Awful, Part 30. I just realised I've been very rude. I said ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but I didn't include anyone who uses they-them pronouns. So let's kick off with one of those.
They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
Now, there's this horrible stereotype that says that many non-binary people are not only obese, but morbidly obese, and not only unattractive, but completely unfuckable. And that thing matches the criteria perfectly. They-them energy, if they-them use some more energy, they might lose some of they-them's fucking weight. And to me, I know that's a musical event, but it's got a really cult-like feel. Those people chanting they-them energy. And if you've watched my channel for a while, I often talk about a thing I call the TQ cult, which is under the umbrella of the LGBTQIA+ community. There's the hardcore trans, queer and non-binary people, those who aren't in touch with reality, who are ruining things for everyone else. But if you're starting a cult, if you want members, it's best to get them young.
If I have a trans student in my class, which I have had in the past, not only will I refer to them as their preferred pronoun and preferred name, but so will everybody else in the classroom. And that is not indoctrination, that is called respect.
Oh, there's a shock. A teacher with a manic stare ranting about gender ideology. Now, personally, I don't give a shit what she's saying. It's not about respect, it is indoctrination. We know that, yes, there are a handful of kids who have gender dysmorphia, a horrible condition where they feel they're in the wrong body and will need surgery. We also know that social contagion is a huge factor, as is indoctrination by woke fucking teachers. And if a child says, I identify as, that's fine for children, because I identify as just means I'm pretending to be. But it's for this reason that now in the UK, we have children at primary school, which is elementary school for anyone watching in the colonies, children that young who are identifying as cats. Now, there is a good thing with that, I guess, if they're a bit older, because if you have a young man who insists he's a cat, you can cut his bollocks off to stop him from breeding. Next up, the gift that keeps on giving. The people who were still triggered that Donald Trump won the US election.
To all the dumbass MAGA up in my comments talking about, ew, the liberal left is supposed to be the kind and tolerant. Fuck you and the train you're on. I can't stand you or anybody that worships that stupid fucking rotted orange. Fuck off.
I think what the fair damsel fails to realise is that the reason that many of us think that the woke progressive left at least say that they're kind and accepting, whilst knowing that they aren't, is because for years that's what they've said. They're so kind, they're so caring, they accept and love everyone. And that's true. They'll accept anyone who thinks exactly the same way that they do. If not, they invoke Godwin's law and start calling people Nazis. Now, with that in mind, we'll briefly leave the New World and come back to Blighty, because last Saturday was International Women's Day, and at the UEA, the University of East Anglia, a place I've been many times because it's in my home city of Norwich, some protesters showed up to basically say that men should not be in women's sports or in women's changing rooms.
A woman is an adult human female. No man can ever be a woman. And we will never be okay with men in female changing rooms.
Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
Look at all of the men who are intimidating women on National Women's Day.
Keep men out of female
Nazi scum off our streets! 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 Nazi scum off our streets!
You're really intimidating, really scared.
Off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
out of female changing rooms.
Off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum!
Our next demonstration demonstration is here at the UEA Sports Park on the 3rd of May at 1 p.m. We will be here and we will be fighting against men in female changing rooms.
What? You don't think men should be allowed in women's changing rooms? You fascist! Yes, it's Antifa, the foot soldiers for the discerning fucktard. And they are the definition of people being awful, just because of their fucking hypocrisy. Antifa is short for anti-fascist, yet they turn up wearing black, in mobs, intimidating people and often using violence. Now, there was a group in Europe in the 1930s that did that. Oh yes, the actual fascists. And they do it with everyone. Nazi scum, off our streets. Nazi scum, off our streets. When people protested outside a migrant hotel, they turned up and did the same thing. Now, how is being concerned about mass uncontrolled immigration the same as being a Nazi? Because we know in areas where we have high numbers of illegal immigrants, crime shoots through the roof, in particular sexual violence against women and girls. And some people are protesting because they're sick of the government just spunking money up the wall. But why don't Antifa care about any of that? I'm guessing because they're all fucking unemployed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know anything from the history of Nazi Germany where Herr Hitler got up to give a speech about women having dicks and men having babies. Anyway, men in women's spaces, let's stick with that.
You know, believe it or not, most women actually like me in their space. And it's because of this, which gives me the power to protect them from you, who thinks that their body is your choice.
Ladies, is that true? Is the only thing better than a cross-dressing pervert living out his fetish in public, invading female-only spaces? Is the only thing better than that a cross-dressing pervert living out his fetish in public, invading female spaces, who also goes to the gym? Because who is he protecting those women from? Most men, the vast majority of us, know not to go into female-only spaces because there's only meant to be women in there. And his argument falls flat because confused men in dresses like him are statistically far more likely to do horrible things to women and girls in female-only spaces. And he doesn't look feminine whatsoever. He looks like Peter Andre in drag. So let's see another one of them.
Hello. I don't know why. Maybe the shirt I'm wearing, but I felt kind of beautiful today. I'm wearing this pink shirt. And I know I probably shouldn't be wearing this anymore, but I'm wearing this skirt. Felt kind of beautiful today.
I have to agree with him. I don't know why he feels beautiful either. And, gentlemen, as we get older, we know it's harder to shift the weight and there's a chance of developing some man boobs. What I do is I go walking every day and shout at my phone. That gentleman appears to have just become a full-blown transvestite. If you look carefully, I believe that's a wig. And the clothing. Either that's come from a charity shop, or, and I think this is probably more likely, he's got them from a dead female relative who he's now keeping in the freezer. But the way that he talks, it's like Jenny's gone out for the day and Forrest Gump is trying on her clothes. Next up, let's get some motoring advice.
You need to sell your Tesla. I'm not going to warn you again, okay? Those of us in the resistance are not going to stand for these hate mobiles driving around providing free advertising for the man who has subverted our democracy and spread disinformation and hate speech and supported the fascist takeover of our government, and who has taken the food from the mouths of millions of people around the world by destroying U.S. aid and has betrayed Vladimir Zelensky. That is how serious this is. And you continue to pre-order these Teslas, you continue to drive and charge these cars that are making this man, Elon Musk, more and more powerful, infinitely.
Those of us in the resistance. When I heard that, it put me in mind of Star Wars. And it got me thinking, if he'd been in the Rebel Alliance, if he had been Han Solo, the Death Star would be absolutely fucking fine. And sell your Tesla. Until a few months ago, those hate-mobiles were the car of choice for everyone just like him. And by that, I mean upper middle class, woke white dickheads desperately virtue signalling that they're saving the planet, hoping to get noshed off at some point by Greta Thunberg. Totally ignoring that the manufacturing process to make an EV does more damage to the environment than the entire life cycle of the equivalent petrol or diesel car. And sell your Tesla? I can't sell my Tesla. I can't afford a fucking Tesla. If I had £80,000 burning a hole in my pocket, I wouldn't spend it on a glorified milk float. And there's that word again. Fascist. Now, I know Elon Musk is a bit of a Bond villain, but isn't his role to cut unnecessary spending so that taxpayers' dollars aren't just being whittled away on nothing, eventually making lives more comfortable for the average American citizen? And if you do own an EV, don't worry about selling it. There's a fairly good chance it'll burst into flames of its own accord. I've got one clip left. Really, strap yourself in for this.
Oh. Hey, do you want to sit with us? My name's Arson. That's Bug. It doesn't really talk much. Say something, Bug.
Bug.
Yeah. What are you eating? What? A sandwich? Oh, no, it's okay. It kind of triggers him. If you cannot eat that around them... Oh. Their pronouns are they, it, ze, zer. What are yours? She, her. Ugh. Sorry, we don't really like those noise. Bug. Stop, hey. This isn't you. Sorry about that. He gets a little nervous. My pronouns are these are and
Some people say that there's a mental health crisis in the modern Western world. Where to fucking start? First of all, that isn't a parody. I've been onto the TikTok account and there are loads of videos like that and they're all just as batshit crazy. Reacting like that to the mention of a sandwich, Chief, you have got bigger fucking problems to worry about. And the thing in the ears refers to him as him, but then corrects to them. And they don't like normal pronouns. Now, I'm not usually a violent man, but if someone asked me what are your pronouns, to be fair, I'd just walk off because I don't need that shit in my life. But if I said my pronouns are he and him and got that reaction, rest assured, Z will be picking up Zem's fucking teeth. So one of them's a bug and the other one says that their pronoun is a bark. So we have a bug and a dog. That's fair enough. A bug you can stamp to death and a dog you can have put down. We need less acceptance with these type of people. We need to bring back good old-fashioned shame. And again, I don't normally approve of hitting children, but clearly, when they were younger, they both needed a fucking good slap. So that's the end of this video. That one was hard going. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you can leave a like rating or a comment, that really helps the algorithm. If you'd like to support me making these videos, there's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. And for everyone who's done that so far, thank you so much. And as ever, thanks for watching. They, them, energy. They, them, energy! So there's this harmful stereotype that many non-binary people are morbidly obese, have no personality, desperate for attention, incredibly annoying, attention-seeking fucktards, and I'll just leave it there. Oh, the fair maiden doth protest. I think... What? Oh, fuck that up already. I'm missing something, but I don't recall anything from the history of Nazi Germany in which her Hitler got up and... Fuck it. Is this true? Is the only thing better than a cross-dressing pervert living out his fetish in public? Oh, bollocks. And I've walked here, so that's fuck the continuity. So some people say that there's a mental health crisis going on in the modern Western world. And I'm guessing that in generations to come, when they look back at this time, they will wonder what the fuck was going on there. And I can't remember what I meant to say. Now, I'm not a violent man, but if I were approached by someone asking what my pronouns were, first of all, I just walk past them because who needs that shit in your life? But if I got the fuck it,